For today's video, I'll be talking about a special YouTuber that's pretty big in the underground community. Basically, the YouTuber is called Bobbalam, and he's basically been doing YouTube for about 5 to 6 years. His content is very similar to the not really known YouTuber You Dig, who did Playboy Cardi content. Bobbalam around those years as well, while You Dig's absence, got really popular off a whole lot of Red Update news type of content and got very popular off of just Cardi and Uzi content in general, going as far as to show up on No Jumper, do a couple videos for No Jumper, as well as showing up at a couple separate videos of his own. And so basically today is not to talk about Bobbalam's whole career in general. Today is to talk about if Bobbalam is a good YouTuber or not. Has Bobbalam really had any relevant interactions? Has he had any relevant impact towards the community? So Bobbalam, since about 2019, has really been relevant. He went from about 50,000 subscribers to 150, which is pretty impressive for his size, you know what I mean? To grow in that big of a size. Whereas I do admit the underground content really did get him popular. I feel like in general, Bobbalam is the one that really popularized the underground content in general. Whereas there is content creators such as St. Cloud, they weren't doing it as large of a scale as Bobbalam, and some of Bobbalam's really good videos have reached up to 100,000 to 200,000 views on underground YouTubers, and quite frankly has given underground YouTubers that stimulus check of attention. Where, like for example, Hard Rock got a little bit more attention off of Bobbalam, and so was Dom Khalil, and so is a lot of like Opium-esque underground rappers, you know what I mean? And I won't give him too much credit, but I also might have think that he might have popularized the names Plug and Beat and Rage. I might be tripping, but that's like the first time I really heard that name Plug and Beat and Rage was like around that time where Bobbalam made that video. So I will admit that Bobbalam could have popularized that, to be honest. And so we could say that he has popularized a lot of artists, and he has put a lot of artists on the map. I wouldn't say completely, but a lot of stirring artists have gotten more popularity off of Bobbalam. Like me personally, I started hearing of artists such as Autumn and Summers way before long ago, but there might have been a lot of people that might have heard of those. There might have been many people who might have discovered them artists through Bobbalam, to be honest. And you might, whoever your opinion on Bobbalam is, you guys have to admit that Bobbalam has popularized and really brought this genre into the full potential that it really could have been. Because this really mainly started as just a lot of rabbit holes of Cardi and Uzi content. And now we're going to go deep dive and actually get popular off of that type of content to talk about underground rappers that might not even be as big as us or might be even bigger than us. And I feel like that really inspires a lot of people. So we'll say whatever you want about Bobbalam and the endless amounts of beef he gets into. He does have a lot of balls to, like, he's very consistent as well. He has a lot of balls to say whatever he wants, and he's very consistent with whatever he wants to do. You have to give somebody like that a lot of respect, because a lot of people aren't doing it like that. And yeah, so besides like really popularizing artists and really kind of showing the full scale of underground content and what it could truly be, and also meeting and interacting with these artists and having a lot of artists on his side, you can't lie, Bobbalam might not only just be the biggest content creator, but he's also somebody that's always very in tune with the news and that's always able to give us the type of content that we want at a fast, speedy time. Something could happen and he'll post the content 2 weeks, 2 seconds later. Like, that nigga's always on top of it. So yeah, that's all the good points about Bobbalam. Let's talk about all the bad points. Bobbalam at times is very biased with how he shows his news type of content. He's very hypocritical at times, and he can be very ignorant towards the information that he knows. Like, he'll go full head on with the stuff he says. So whereas it's good with being consistent, you're also missing out because of the fact that a lot of information could come out later, so you're quick to assume something. And with having such a big fan base, that when you assume something and you have a majority of them believe you, you have to understand that really influences their takes on it. And that's really bad, because after a while, you have a lot of your huge fan base can go on TikTok and spread the information. And even though people might be like, oh, it's not your fault you influence, when you have such a big audience, you got to understand how to piece that shit together for the influence. That's just it in general. Like, I don't know what people don't understand about that. Yes, that's their own opinion to make because they're their own human beings, but with such a big audience and such a big fan base, you're going to have a lot of yes men that go with your opinion without really getting full unfiltered content. It's like Bobbalam wants to flop between being a news channel and a reactionary channel, and if you're gonna bring the news, I feel like he doesn't bring the news in a good enough way. Like, I have this problem with No Jumper too, and I just feel like they're just too biased with how they spread their news, and I feel like at times Bobbalam picks fights, so it's like you never really know what stuff that he really changes around to make himself look better when it comes to how everything's opened up. And so yeah, that's one of the really bad parts. Another really one of the bad parts is that people like me feel like Bobbalam doesn't really know what he's talking about when it comes to music opinions. Like, you can tell who he's really biased to, and he'll flat out just like say opinions that nobody agrees on. Like, everybody in general will come together and just go off on him, bro. Like, it's hilarious to me. Like, it's hilarious. But yeah, a lot of people dislike Bobbalam also because of that too. But what I feel like comes with that is the fact that, yeah, you can always hate a person for their opinion, but their opinion is their opinion. So even if you hate him, just don't watch him. And that's why I tell a lot of people, like, for y'all to dislike his opinions and for him to still have such a big audience really shows which one of y'all just want to hate on him to build on a bandwagon, and which one of y'all want to hate on him just to legitimately hate on him. If you don't like his content, this goes for King Mill as well. If you don't like Bobbalam's content, don't watch it. That's it. Just don't watch his content. That's just what I'm feeling like, because a lot of y'all talk about this, and that. Oh, I hate Bobbalam, then don't watch his content in general. But in general, for the end in stasis, I feel like Bobbalam is just not a bad YouTuber in general. He is consistent. What makes a YouTuber good is consistency, a good upload rate, good consistent thumbnails, a good audience. He has all of that. The only thing he's really lacking is really substance when it comes to videos. And that's just my opinion on it.